Beautiful thing at Willow Canyon is we have what's known as our Sports Academy classes. Our Sports Academy classes are designed so that student athletes can participate in their sport during the day. What that allows us to do is allows us to develop them in here year-round, but also allows them to get more touches in their sports. We're not trying to build bodybuilders, we're not trying to build weightlifters, we're not trying to build powerlifters, we're trying to build athletes. That's why if you look at our programs, about 90% of our programs are shared by about 90% of our athletes. And then the differences come in are they in season? What's their injury history? What does their load look like? You know, how many games they're playing? What's their train age? Stuff like that. So for example, if you come in here on a Tuesday, we're gonna be mainly squat on that day. But you might see front squats, you might see back squats, you might see goblet squats, you might see landmine squats, you might see box squats, different types of squats. So that way we're working similar movements, but then adjusting that movement to fit the athlete's need. And so what that allows us to do is allows us to safely progress them throughout their entire year. Because with so many of our athletes being multi-sport and year-round club athletes, they don't really have an off season. And so we have to progress them in a smart way. And so it's not about killing them every single time. It's not about, you know, how hard you can hit them. It's about building them up throughout long periods of time so we can focus on long-term athletic development. If we're in a strength training session or a lift session with me, there's gonna be a total body component, an upper body component, and then a lower body component. If you're in 3 days a week, there will be one day where the upper is the primary, the lower is the secondary, and the total is the tertiary. So the first, second, and third. Then the next day, whatever the one that's kind of least important that day, then becomes the most important on the next day. And then it trickles through. It's known as the tier system. It was developed by Coach Joe Ken, who is a legend in the strength and conditioning world. What this allows us to do is allows us to train holistically the entire body. We also involve speed training a lot because really speed can be the difference in making the play and not making the play. And so we're trying to get speed working on all of our athletes. We do, especially this semester, we're incorporating Fast Friday, where at the very end of the week, we do a speed training session where we focus on acceleration because regardless of the sport, you're gonna need to accelerate and decelerate. So we're not focusing on top end speed, because like for example in the sport of basketball, you don't have enough room to get to your top end speed. We're trying to accelerate through because that has the most application across all of our sports. Here's the one thing I hope they take away from my program is that discipline, effort, and consistency win regardless of what it is. If you want a really good job, then whatever situation you're in, whether it's school, whether it's the job you're currently at, be disciplined, do the job the way it's supposed to be done, do the job to the best of your ability, and do it day in, day out. People are gonna notice and things are gonna get better. I want them to know that if they can succeed in here, they can succeed anywhere. If they're struggling in class, be disciplined with the work, put forth good effort in that class, and then be consistent, do it day in and day out, and see that GPA rise. And so I don't want them to be just successful athletes. Of course I want to hang every single banner, and I want to win every state champ, and I want to win every region title, because I'm greedy and I love seeing success. But at the end of the day, if I'm not building better people, then what am I doing? I want them so that 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now, when they look back on this program, they can see that it made an impact and it's leading to their greater amount of happiness.